Okay, we'll skip to, I wish Jerry was here as part of it, we'll skip to the discussion on the zoning map. At the July 27th council meeting, the city council could not reach a consensus on a map as proposed with the acreage on the west side of South 16th Street as zoned residential. As far as I know, it has not come up on an agenda since. I did get a phone call while I was on my way to Colorado from Albert Highland, and she was asking, first she asked about the paper that she had signed that was presented to the council. I didn't have a copy of that, so I didn't exactly know what it was, so I called Adam, but she asked that, she said she wished that she had not signed that, and could we, here Adam, you have a copy? Okay.
Yeah, I've got a copy of it, I know.
She wished that she could take her name off of the paper, and after an hour of visiting with her, I said, well, if it makes you feel better, I guess you could, go in and talk to Adam, and I'm sure he asked for it in writing then, to have her write the letter that states that I recently signed a paper indicating I was not in favor of my property being rezoned as residential. I signed it before knowing all the details involved in such an action. Also, I've since learned that my children have discussed developing a portion of the land south of the farmstead. They have no definite plans, but are considering it as something I might do in the future. For this reason, I would like to have my name removed from the document. And thus, Alberta signed it and took a copy to Barb, I think, as well as Adam, and left one on my desk.
I took the copy and shared it with Mr. Murray as the attorney for Mr. Glass, and also there representing my understanding. I think he was, if I understood right, that council meeting, he was also there representing the country club. So I communicated to him and provided him a copy of the letter. Do any of you have any questions about why they wrote a letter? I can read to you within the ordinance why a letter was submitted to us originally. A letter was originally submitted to us in protest of the changes, and I'll explain how the protest process works. Under Chapter 4, Section 105, it says protest. If a written protest against any proposed amendment, supplement, or change is presented to the City Council, signed by 20% or more of the owners, either of the area of the lots included in such proposed change or those immediately adjacent to the area, such amendment shall not become immediately effective except by the favorable vote of at least 75% of the members of the City Council. Which means that you would pass the map with a protest in place would require 4 or 5 council members, which would be 80%, to approve a map and put it into place. And so I would let you know that based upon her request to be taken off of consideration, that does present an issue that they are now under the 20% threshold requirement. If you look at the overall amount of acres being affected, and you look at the amount of acres now in protest, you got 16% of the area, and of course it's not even close to being the number of property owners. It's only by area that they met that threshold of 20%. They are now at 16% without that inclusion. But of course, at the time that we're council, that was properly in place and required 75%.
I wanted to make sure that we had Highlands property zoned as residential, which we do.
The matter, remember the amendment said adjacent property as well.
It's nice that people are thinking about, encouraging development on their property, so it is zoned accordingly with some additional R1 and R2 there, so.